Hello, hello. Oh, I think I still have you zoomed in. I do. Done all of my Teeny Tuesday videos for April. So I still kind of had you guys zoomed in. So, getting to film my Salvage Saturday because my little man is finally asleep. This is a tag, gonna be a tag made out of a windowed envelope. It as a single, it's not very strong, but once it's glued together, and this actually, if I was making these for a journal, I would be sewing them. We're only going to do mock sewing for the purposes of this video because my sewing machine is like under my desk. It's really tall, so it's like right up here under the camera. It's just not feasible for me to do that on camera. Now, to do this pocket, ideally you would want your envelope either opened on your long edge or the edge farthest away from the window. This one is not. And I don't want that to be the top of my tag because then, we're going to be cutting right there at the window. So I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. But for starters, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. My paper trimmer is out in the living room. I want to go get it. So I'm going to trim off that end, and I'm going to trim off this top. And that's just to open the envelope up. We will open this side too. But I don't want to do it yet because then I'll have two completely separate pieces. And I want to glue this to this first. So I want to fortify. I'm going to create this little hinge because if I could glue here and then just glue it down, but I'll lose some real estate in the pocket. But if you do a hinge, you don't lose real estate. So, and you can use any paper, doesn't matter size wise. Sorry, I'm looking for looking for my glue book, my glue pages. Any length, any width, inch maybe might be the best to be the most. Split it in half, glue one side, and you're going to make sure that folded side is on the outside of your envelope, because what you're doing is creating, you're creating a new end to your envelope. I want it at the natural fold. I don't know if those. Okay. And then add glue to the other flap. Whoop. My glue is at its end. Bring this down and over. You're going to glue that, and because I got these little flappies, I'm just going to fold those over. It's going to give it a little character if I decide to leave it that way. So now you have this side open, this side open. We've closed this side back up, and we're going to go ahead and open this side. You only have to do that if you're repairing an envelope because it was opened on the side with the window. Instead of the opposite end. So now it opens this way. See, and that hinge gives you all that space there in the envelope. It is wanting to fold a little crooked at this point. It's okay, I can fix that. And we glue the two pieces together. Sorry, I gotta turn my heater down. So first things first is collaging or decorating the front. Now, if you watched, I think it was my last video, might have been the one before, you know that I have a template that I have created for this particular envelope. but it doesn't fit all envelopes. So if you look at these, you can see that this window, there's the edge of that window there and there. But this one, here's the end of this window, and this one goes way down here. So each envelope that I have, I'm not going to do a new template on the actual junk mail ones. Sorry, my brain went hump. Because there's not very, I mean, there's a lot. So we're just not going to do it that way. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and collage the front of this. And if you remember, I said that if I'm doing any collaging within this project, I'm going to be doing it with insides of envelopes. So let me grab another glue stick. I guess I should do an inventory while I'm down there. I have 6 more. I'm good for a little bit. Alright, so you also need to decide if your envelope is the height that you want it. This one is 6, 7 3/4 tall. That's almost a full journal page. So I want to go a little bit shorter with this one. So I'm just kind of lining it up, getting that, you know, it'd be easier if I did it this way, put the zeros, because I know the zeros are in the same spots. I don't know necessarily that the inches and the centimeters, I don't know that those are the same place across from each other. So these will go into my, one of them. This one too. I'll just trim it down. Will go into the collage pile. Whoops. Okay. Sorry, I had to take a drink of my coffee. We will be cutting the angles out, but let's get it collaged first. Now you can do wraparounds if you want. It's really not necessary unless you want that super clean edge. You're not really going to see it though, so it's up to you. It's also up to you if you want to ink. I was hoping that I'd had at least a little bit of ink left on that, but no. So I don't like that up against that. I think it's too close of a color. So we're just gonna come here, or not color, pattern. Black is black. It's too close of a pattern, so it kind of blends in really well. In fact, it is the same pattern, it's just different sizes. Glue over here where I can get to it. So I just shortened it so it wouldn't be right up against that window, and I'll find something else to go there. Something like, sure. I don't want the white, but it's the nature of the beast. When you're using envelopes, you're going to have that white, the white pieces of the envelopes on the inside. There's not really a way to avoid that other than just going around it. I'm going to go this way so that the rough edge is still up against, you know, the rough edge isn't on the window, which is not that big of a deal. If you want it up against the window, that's fine. Doesn't hurt anything. So this, I'm going to go here. And I want it to overlap this one just ever so slightly. probably turn some music on. It's really quiet in here. Got the little guy down for a nap. My husband is at his buddy's, although I think he's probably on his way home because he just messaged and asked if I wanted him to pick up pizza for dinner. So, yeah. Sorry, responding to him real quick. So this is a nice different pattern. Doesn't need very much, but I do want to get the white off. All my stuff is like hanging up, and I don't know why it's so different today, why everything's in the way today. Why things aren't working right today, things aren't tearing right. Yeah, I'm having a day. Okay. Just a little. A little strippy there. Oh. My phone is typed to texting. Sorry, deleting. Close that out. Oh yeah, and I was gonna put some music on. Maybe that's why things aren't going so good, because my ADD brain is whacked today. Got a new cover in the mail today. So again, you can wrap it if you want, but it doesn't really need to be, because this is going to be sealed completely closed. And I'm going to be covering the back with some sort of writing paper, because after all, we're making a tag. Trimming that off. What do I have for down there? See, don't have to worry about what kind of goobers end up down here, because we're covering it. Okay, I like that one, how it's all jaggedy, and I want to put it right there. But then I have this spot here and this spot here I gotta cover still. So we just do this one. I like the way that piece tore. So what we're gonna do here is just put a patch, so to speak. And I think I'm going to go ahead and ink that edge. I wasn't planning on getting my inks out, but I like the edge enough that I want to be able to see it. And I'm not going to worry about cutting that just yet, because I'm going to be cutting this piece that is not brown. I just think it's cool. cool how it tore. Glue this. Come on. Okay, found a gluey spot on the page. No harm, no foul. Just lends to the age, if you're even able to see it. Trim your edges, but be careful not to, when you're going across the bottom, careful not to cut your envelope back open. We can figure out what are we going to put here. Now you can see a little bit of this music page through here. Let's just roll with that. And oh, I was wondering if I had enough there, but I don't. And just scanning. You know what? Instead of tearing some of that up, let's do another. Let's do a strip off of this. Wish this was smaller. When I print these out again, these are from Scrapbooking with Me. Next time I print them, I think I'm going to do them 2 to a page. Although I do kind of like that, just like that. So this page is going to be fodder for something else. Just going to trim that down like so. Put that off to the side. Whoop. And it just fell to the ground. Okay, it's going to go there. So we want to trim it. Let's go just past the blue flowers. Let's go on this side. Okay, and we know we're pretty much close to down to the bottom. We definitely don't need it this tall. Actually, I want to take a little off the bottom because I want a little more of that flower to show. We're going to go there. Now you could have done this just as a single image. You could have collaged in the background and then did another focal point image on the top of it. That's also an option. So I'm going to put these all over there, and hopefully they don't continue to use side to slide off of my table. I'm going to go glue around here. So I'm going to glue this straight to this part. Ooh, big old glob of glue. And you're trying to avoid getting glue on the actual window if you can. And then I'm going to take this. Yep. I'm just going to center it. Go down as much as I can to that fold. With the wet glue, remember, you do have a little bit of wiggle room before it dries on you. Give me just a second. Sorry, I felt a gnarly cough coming up. Like, what's hanging up? Something's hanging up on my drawer. So as I was saying, if I was doing this for a journal rather than my idea journal, I would do this with my sewing machine. Now before you close your envelope up, you sew around your window. You don't have to, it just adds an extra element. I personally like the look of sewn. I also have a stamp set that is different stitches that I could ink around the edges, and it still gives it that faux finished look without actually sewing it. Okay, so now we're going to glue this closed. If you don't get it close to the edges, that's okay if you're going to sew it. If you're not going to sew it, you're going to want to make sure that your edges are glued really, really well. So let's find something. So if there's anything on my desk, that'll fit close enough for a writing page. It's not going to cover everything, but again, this is for my idea book. So if I was doing it for an actual journal that I was selling, obviously I would be a little more cautious about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my, before I glue it down, I'm going to put my cover paper at the same, up against the corner, because I want the paper that I'm covering, since it's not going all the way to the edges, I want them to have the same angle as the envelope. That makes sense. So do the flip, do the angle, which is a lot harder to see on that paper, and then on this one flipped it, came off over here, so you literally flip it this way. You don't want to rotate it or anything, because then that makes your angles all wonky. You're literally just flipping it on its side. So then when I glue this on, it's got the same angle as the tag for the paper. And you want to cover the back. If you're not gluing it in, you do want your back to have a writing surface. If the back of your envelope is solid white, great. You don't have to cover it if you don't want to. If it's got this, you're going to want to cover it. Otherwise, it doesn't really create much of a writing surface. You end up with advertisements for whatever envelope you're using. And my page is a little crooked. I guess I should have straightened that out first, but that's okay. It's crooked down here. Okay. So writing surface. And then the last thing you would do would be to take this back to your sewing machine and sew around your edges. And you could do any stitch you want. You could do straight stitches. You can do cross stitches. Depends on your sewing machine. What your sewing machine is capable of doing. When I sew my stuff, I tend to do a combination of straights and zigzags. Excuse my zigzag drawing there. And then again, we'll do some more ziggies down here. Finish off with a straight stitch. And I do try not to go right up to a corner, or where I gotta change directions. with a zigzag or well, anything other than a straight stitch. So there is your tag made out of a junk envelope. You could put another decoration here if you want. You could glue this into the book. You could, instead of it being a tag, you could glue it here, here, and here and have it be a side pocket, in which case you wouldn't need to cover the back. Keep that in mind. But you would want to make sure that all your the flaps from the envelope, that everything is glued down really, really well, so that when you're sliding stuff in and out, it's not getting caught. You could go here, here, and here and turn it into a top pocket. Again, you wouldn't need to cover the back. But if you're just going to use it as a tag to fit inside a pocket, like so, it's actually a perfect fit. Then yeah, you'd want to cover the back so that there's a writing surface. Now, do I want to decide whether I want to glue this to the book, or I guess since I'm digging, I'm already answering my question before I'm even getting it out of my mouth, which is, do I want to just make a quick little pocket? Yeah, let's just do a quick little pocket. So this tag was inspired by Shaw Craft. It's SHAW, and her @ is Shaw Craft 1. SHAWCRAFT 1. The number 1. I tried to find the direct link to the video, to this video that I watched. Couldn't find it. This is just going to be a simple pocket, and just because I must have my words. I have to have my words upright. I don't necessarily, when I'm doing a collage, I don't mind if my words are upside down. But like in pockets and stuff, you know, it does bug me when I've got like 3 things the right way up and then the flap is upside down. I'd rather cut it off and re-glue it on the right way than to have it upside down. Oh, my X option is back on Spotify. Okay, so now, another trick, hold where you're not wanting to glue. If I can get my glue to get down there. Wow, I realized my glue was almost empty, but come on. Okay, we're gonna try this one. Okay, trick. Hold the side you don't want to glue. So glue down the side. This is just, you know, Pockets 101. Literally, and, you know, basic ingredient, basic supply. But in this case, it's just there to hold the tag. So that's all it's doing. I did not put the so think I'm going to have to put some acetate in this to get the rest of that glue going so I can get the bottle empty, because again, you see my little, that's hardened glue because my bottle sprung a leak. And nobody ever talks about that. I watch a lot of creators that use the Sugar Bell icing bottle, and I never hear anybody talk about having to replace it as much as I've had to replace mine, because it breaks all the time. Right where I'm squeezing, it breaks. So, pocket's not part of the reuse. Well, it is. I'm reusing a book page. But here's the tag that we made. Again, that was inspired by Shaw Crafts. So it's at SHAWCRAFT number 1. Shaw Craft 1. Don't know what happened with my W there. So go check her out, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye!